What's up guys, Brian aka Big Kahuna TCG here, and we are back with another Elestrals video. Here we're going to talk about our back-to-back topping performance with Fire Nexus. So I'm going to show you the deck that I used to top 8 the April 5th webcam premiere event, and it's pretty much close to what I played to a top 16 finish at the Dallas Open. As you can see, we have the top 16 Stellar Pantera mat, and we're only a couple cards off from the Dallas list here for the webcam tournament, and I'll kind of talk about the similarities and the differences and why I made the choices that I made. But for now, let's go ahead and start the deck tech. So first, we're going to start off with the non-fire guys just to get them out of the way. You obviously know in any Elestrals deck you play 3 rabbits. We have 1 chick because we've got a couple divines that we're searching for, and we've got 3 eddies. So as you can see, we have our clash stuff. Super excited playing with these amazing stellar full arts. These are the only non-fires in the deck. Rabbit, you play Rabbit because it's an Elestrals deck and it's still legal. Elechick, you play it because it searches your divine, which is super powerful. Spoiler, it's Zeus. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna spoil it for you. Elechick being a 7 when you need it to be, it's amazing. Shrinking a rabbit on the opponent's side of the field is fantastic because it lets your guys get in and push for damage. Eddie, same concept, is good for the tempo, being able to switching a rabbit into attack, or switching something like a chick into defense, and be able to run over. And getting to avoid tsunami is pretty awesome. So these are the main non-fire guys in the deck. Super cool, very powerful. Some of them are pretty much staples in any deck you want to build. Let's go ahead and get to the fire guys. Yeah, for starters, we've got 2 Remicles as our main guy. We've got 3 Kinleo, we have 3 Nekruff, we have a Singleton Warmite, Ash Rabbit, and we have our Lavalith. So this is our main fire package, guys. As you can see, we got 2 Remicles to search our 2 stadiums. We have only 2 targets for Remicle, so sometimes we'll draw one and the second Remicle will be dead, but that's okay as long as we have our stadiums out there, because the stadium is the important part of it. I'm not super in love with Remicle stat-wise. Even with Forge out, he's a 4-3 at best, which doesn't get past a lot. But there is a card in Firestorm, the next set, that is actually kind of interesting with Remicle, Hestia's Hearth. It can kind of turn it into a battle trick with Remicle and Volcanic Forge on the field. That's kind of something I want to play with in the future. I want to see if it's good or if it's just cute. But for now, Remicle is kind of a necessary evil because we want to see Forges as our main Nexus bank, and just as a good way to make our guys better than their guys. Speaking of Nexusing, we have the only Nexuser of the deck. Probably one of the best reasons to play Fire is 3 Kinleo. This guy is amazing. Being able to Nexus and then target it and pop it an opponent's Elestral is phenomenal. Earthquake is at 1 for a reason, guys. It's unconditional removal of a guy. This has 1 slight condition: you've got to successfully Nexus, but once you do, it just destroys whatever you want it to destroy. It forces an answer: either they lose their guy or they're forced to spend 2 spirits on a Gorgon's Gaze or some way to stop him. If you can survive a whole turn cycle with Kinleo and you get the Nexus more than once, you just win that game. It's hard to lose a game from that commanding of a position. And right next to him is probably Kinleo is the reason to play Fire, but my MVP across both events was definitely Nekruff. Nekruff, along with Volcanic Forge, super powerful as 6/2, huge, being able to naturally get over rabbits with Forge, and threaten that burn is phenomenal. It helps keep the pressure on, especially against healers, against like the heal control decks that have definitely risen in popularity. Being able to, after they heal, just run them over and force them to burn one right away. It helps offset that healing that they're doing, especially things like Calf Mel. Calf Mel's a real hindrance to this deck, so being able to at least try to keep them off all the value. Nekruff's an amazing card. If I could play 6 Nekruff, I would. Down here we've got a couple of one-ofs. These are like the tech slots. You see 1 Warmite. This is kind of like an Elestral version of Zeus, being able to drop a 4 attack. It can be really good for running over things. It's almost like he's a 7 as well on his own. Obviously with Zeus, you can attack pretty much anything you want. kind of a flex slot. There's a world that this could be like a second Ash Rabbit, or it could be the third Rummacool. I wanted to try it out. He was in the sideboard in Dallas, and he came in quite a bit, so I tried him out in the main deck for the webcam tournament, and it felt pretty good. The times that he showed up and he actually put in work, I really liked him, and I'm glad I had him. There weren't any moments where I thought, oh, this is the worst card ever, and I wish it wasn't in my deck, and I was quick to side it out. If I had gone up against Blizz in either tournament, I definitely would have sided him out or kept him in the board in favor of like the Boom Bat that I have in the side deck. But just felt pretty good. It's a solid guy. If I played Searchers like Smoltuga, as you can see, I don't have Smoltuga in the lineup, and the spoilers, I don't have Stoke the Forge in the deck. If I had either the Searchers, I'd probably be happier just because it's a toolbox and I could search him out. But he's fine where he is. Same thing with Ash Rabbit. Phenomenal mid-game recovery and kind of a threat, right? It's a 2/5. You know, we all know Rabbit stats are great, and being able to sit there and it heals, either heals you Spirit or it threatens to bring back a really powerful card. So there are moments where you can you show them 3 pieces of removal that you already used, and you go, I'm gonna get one of these back. How bad do you want it to be for you? So it can definitely put them in awkward situations. Punisher mechanics like this, Punisher mechanics, something I learned a lot from Magic. You don't really want to give your opponents the agency of what you get to play, but forcing them into an uncomfortable position is just enough pressure that could kind of win you the game sometimes. And obviously, Lavalith. If I could play more than one Lavalith, I would, especially these amazing full arts from the Shattered Stars. Luckily, I got my Shattered Stars in time to make this video. There's not much to say. It's phenomenal. Being able to hit the back row as well as pressuring with the 6/4, dealing 2 damage. It's really good. It's in fire, so there's no reason not to play it. Let's go ahead and put these guys away. That's it for the guys. There's nothing special about the lineup. Like I said, maybe a third Rummacool, maybe a second Ash Rabbit in the place of the Warmite. In terms of the non-fire dudes, all pretty good. I mean, I'll talk about some tech choices in the future, about what maybe I want to try out. But for now, let's go ahead into the runes. For Invoke runes, we've got 3 Ambrosia, best card in the game. For removal, we've got Earthquake, Rest on Your Laurels. They're so good that they're at 1. One of the main changes I made between Dallas and the webcam tournament was 2 Thunderstorm in the main. So Thunderstorm, really cool card. These are all the invokes. So Thunderstorm, really cool card. In this slot, it was actually 2 Eruptions. You'll see in a bit that I moved the Eruptions to the side deck, but in Dallas it was 2 Eruptions in the main, 1 in the side, and I did that because I just had a feeling that there was going to be very little, if any, fire decks in Dallas, and honestly, I was right. There was very little representation, which is why aggressive Eruption decks actually put like three versions of itself into the top 16, right? There were 3 fire decks in top 16, and I was like, how did that happen? But yeah, if you have a deck that can natively play Eruption into like these greedy Spirit bases and Blizz decks, yeah, you're gonna see some success. So it was a great meta call in Dallas for Eruptions in the main, and honestly, switching them out for Thunderstorm felt like a good meta call for this one because people are now more aware of fire. People know that people are going to try to play fire or play around fire more, and also the existence of Argo being everywhere. This kind of gave me a game 1 kind of like poke them, see what their skill level is. If they like to set 1, they'll set 2, set 3. If I get to get them in game 1 Thunderstorm, maybe they'll set more things, which will lead me to fake them out with the Hurricane on the side. I'll show you the Hurricane in a little bit. So it's a bit of like a gut check almost, and it felt really good in the main. Maybe in the future I make space for something else, and I have to push these to the side deck. But for this tournament specifically, Thunderstorm in the main felt amazing. And let's go ahead and move over to, we have our 2 Divines and our 2 Stadiums. So here we have 2 Zeus guys, like I mentioned earlier. Elochick is searching our Zeus. Zeus is just a phenomenal card. It's honestly one of the best cards in the game. I kind of wish it didn't go back to unlimited, but with Firestorm, with Divine Champions Firestorm coming out, there's no way they could have one of their featured Divines be at 1. It just makes sense. It's a bummer but while you can play multiple, you should play multiple. If you can afford it, spirit-wise, you absolutely should. He's so good at pressuring the board state and putting you in a position where all of their options are bad. So Zeus is good. If you can play Zeus, you should. Here we have Volcanic Forge. These beautiful Shadow Stars full arts. Again, shout out to Elestrals for making these gorgeous full arts, making my fire deck look so pretty. Interestingly, in Dallas, I made the space for 3 Volcanic Forges, and it felt insane. This was a very stadium light meta in Dallas, so I knew that if one stuck, it wasn't going anywhere, and my guys were just going to be bigger than their guys, and sometimes I could hold extra forges, nexus off the forge for killing Leo, and then place the extra forge out, and now not only did I get to successfully nexus, but I got to have my forge out again. So, phenomenal cards. I kind of wish I had space for the third one again, but maybe with a little bit of reconfiguring, I could probably make space again. But for now, 2 felt perfectly fine. And then, last but not least, for the main deck, we have our Counter Rune Suite, which I'm extra excited just because I finally got to pick up all the fancy pieces. So we're on triple Gorgon's Gaze, triple Shield of Achilles, triple Tsunami, and double PTA. As you can see, 11 counter runes. I kept PTA at 2 because I think it's kind of in a weaker spot right now with the prevalence of Blizz. It's really just Blizz. Blizz isn't exactly a card that it feels good to poison tip arrow. It's easier if you got rid of it with like Shield or Tsunami. Tsunami's great against it because if they try to pop it, you can just put them in defense and then figure yourself out. PTA just kind of felt like the weakest of the counter runes, so I cut one, and it's one of the easier cards to side out. Something I've realized across these last couple of tournaments is creating the side out patterns, and having this PTA at 2 means it's easy for me to cut for some of the 2-ofs that I have in the side deck. But yeah, that's really it. It's just Scorgon's Gaze is never going to be the one that I bring another 2 unless something crazy happens. Tsunami and Shield, either of them can go down to 2 in favor of third PTA if you really like PTA or if you think it's going to be more popular. But that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's just go over the spirits really quick. We have 2 earth for the earthquake, 3 water for the tsunamis and the eddies. We're on 5 Zaptors. I think if you have the Thunder package, the triple Rabbit, Electric, double Zeus package, I think 5 is just a really good number. And then we've got the remaining spirits. We have 10. There we go. We have 10 Vipyros. So, pretty clean spirit math, honestly. Because of it, it feels easier to side into tech spirits. Something I'm going to show you guys in a bit. I put a couple of tech spirits in the side. I'm tempted to move the spirits around a little bit and get a little more funky because I want to try something out in the future. But in the main, at least, the spirit math is pretty solid. That's it for the main deck, guys. Let's go ahead and show off this. So, like I said, this current configuration was what I took to the webcams. So we have this Ash Rabbit. It used to be in the main. The second one, we pushed it to the side. We have the 2 eruptions I was talking about. They're in the side now. 2 Spoiled Fruit for the heal control decks. Part of me wish I had a third, but I wouldn't know what to cut for it. But maybe I'll make space. We have 2 Boombats, 2 Divine Blessing. This is the Blizz package. Luckily, I didn't have to use it at all. I kind of faded Blizz across the tournaments. I don't know how it happened. I got pretty lucky, but they were there. I'm pretty sure they would have felt great if I got to play them. We've got the 1 Flare Mine and 2 Cryoblast, just for like the 5s decks, the super aggressive Lunar Aggro decks. And then we've got the Lycaris and 2 Hurricane. So, as you can see, we've got Hurricane and Thunderstorm, and the reason for that is I want to try to get them with Thunderstorm in the main, and when they see it, they're going to, hopefully, they see that and go, okay, this guy played Thunderstorm. Maybe I should set a couple more cards so that they don't get my pivotal card. All the Argo decks, they wanna set down their Argo, and hopefully they get to get me in the battle. And if they see Thunderstorm, they're gonna go, okay, cool, I'll set my PTA and my Argo, or you know, I'm gonna be like, alright, cool, they have Thunderstorm, they probably don't have Hurricane, and then I side into Hurricane, thinking, or having them think that they don't have to worry about the one card, and then hopefully I blow them out. So that's like a simple side pattern. Cut a Thunder and the 2 Thunderstorms for the Hurricane and Wind. Honestly, these cards felt fine. Like I said, I didn't bring in the Blizz cards. I brought this in a few times. I didn't get to Hurricane as much as I would like, but I think the premise still stands. I think the thought process still stands, and I don't regret it. There's a world with all the Argo running around that I might try to squeeze this back into the main. I don't know yet. We'll see. Eruption felt good. I still think it's probably better off in the side just because Fire's on the rise. There were 2 Fire Nexus in the top 8 of the webcam tournament, as well as 3 in the top 16 of Dallas. So Fire's on the map. There's no hiding it now. We know Fire exists. We know that people like to play Fire. Whether or not Fire is the best deck, people definitely want to try it, whether it's an Argo version or whether it's a non-Argo version. So Eruption's a good card, but it might be relegated to the side for now. I think that's kind of it. I don't think there's anything else that I want to squeeze in. There was an interesting idea of maybe fitting in some Spectaris, either in the sideboard or in the main, maybe replacing something like the Rummikul. There were times after the tournament where I was looking at lists, and after realizing how many people were on Argo, it made me start thinking about whether or not I should just also be playing Argo. And I don't know, because the thing about Argo is it's a really good card, but it takes up quite a bit of space, right? So like you got to think of it's 2 Argo and 2. I don't have another necklace on me, so we'll say it's 2 necklace. I mean, I don't love Poison Tunic. You could maybe play it if you wanted to, but I think you want it to be 2 necklace. So like this is 4 slots. So like my counter rune takes 2 cards to do its job, whereas Shield or Gorgons or Tsunami only take 1 slot to do its job. And I think like that's why I like them over Argo. That's not me like downplaying Argo. I think Argo's a phenomenal card, and I think I should probably sit down one of these days and maybe build a version of my deck that actually just makes the space. Because as we've seen, there was like, I don't know, it was like 5 or 6 of the top 8 had Argo in the deck. Like, it's obviously a good card. I don't think there's any denying that it's a good card. So whether or not this is me being stubborn or whether it's just a playstyle thing, that's kind of my reason. I don't really have a good reason. I wanted to see how good I could be at playing against it rather than just playing with it. But we're definitely going to try out different versions of Fire Nexus. Obviously, we have a couple of frames of reference. Pretty sure I'm the only Fire Nexus deck across both of the topping events that didn't have Argo. Pretty sure Rybot Zero had Argo, and I'm pretty sure it had Argo. So I'm the only guy, I'm the only stubborn guy who isn't playing Argo in his Fire deck. But results speak for themselves. I'm still doing well. I'm still pulling off some wins. So maybe there's merit to it, right? Maybe there's a world where there are 2 versions of Fire Nexus. I don't know yet. I'm doing it so far. I can't complain. I really, honestly, I just want to play Volcanic Forge, guys, especially this version. I want to go back to 3 so bad, just because I just want him. I want him right there. Look at that. That just looks so good. That looks so good. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's it for the deck profile, guys. Thank you so much for stopping in and giving it a listen. If you could, I'd really appreciate it if you drop a like and a sub to the channel. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, and hopefully I come back with another video, whether it's, I think, opening a box of Daybreak from my Clash rewards, or whether it's doing some sort of other deck tech, maybe some testing. Hopefully I can sit down and maybe do some Clash videos. But otherwise, I'm gonna see you next time, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and have a good one.